everyone, and welcome back to the Raw Doggy channel. And guys, we are back at it yet again. And today I was surprised with this. This is the Black Series 11th Brother from Mall Shadow Lore line. I saw the notification that it had been delivered, and yeah, they delivered alright. Look at this amazing, packaging, things like that. Of course, featuring the Black Series logo, the figure, and the accessories shown right here, the name of the character, and the number which he falls into the lineup, and the name of that lineup right there on the bottom. And of course, like I always say, right here on the side of the box, you can find this amazing mural artwork, and it looks fantastic. And also, like I mentioned before, by adding other characters from the same lineup, you can create this amazing mural. So going by order, we have Darth Maul, Rook, the 11th Brother now, and he's right beside Devin. Taking a look at the back, you get a bigger portrait of the character, a description, the number which falls to the lineup, and some warnings. Here's the side of the box, bottom, and top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and free him from this prison and get him out of the box. And here he is out of the box. And guys, oh my goodness, look at the 11th Brother. He is so cool. Just look at the amount of detail already. I can already tell this is going to be a fun review. So let's go ahead and start from top to bottom. Checking out the head sculpt, it is fantastic. It, captures everything about his sort of like menacing appearance that we've seen in the series. And of course, he is sort of like nicknamed the Crow for obvious reasons. So you can see right here, he wears sort of like a bird mask, and it's quite scary. He has like sort of like a skull sort of like look to it and things like that. The red beady eyes, and then of course the hood is made all together within like this sort of like firm yet soft plastic mix. So it's kind of cool. Here's a closer look at the 11th Brother, or the Crow's sort of like face skull we can see right there. So it looks really menacing. And of course, you do get some pretty decent articulation right here. Not so much up and down, but you do get, side to side. And it's due to the obvious reason of his sort of like head sculpt being a little bit massive. But other than that, I am seriously impressed with the overall look and attention to detail that they've added to him. Next, checking out the torso, he has a very unique sort of like torso to him. So I'll sort of move his cape out of the way real quick. So as you can see, he has a very unique body shape as far as like his overall look. He has a very sleek body compared to like, maybe like the Grand Inquisitor sort of like style outfit, with this gray on the inside. And I also like this piece. It is attached to the front of his chest, and it sort of acts as like the connector to his robe, or like his cape. So that's really cool. And even the fabric of the soft goods is intertwined in there, so that's really nice. But yeah, you can see that nice detail running throughout there and in the back. And then I gotta talk about his cape. I mean, look at that. This Aura Farmer over here has like the Imperial insignia on both sides of his shoulder. But besides that, you do get a nice ball joint right here on the lower waist, side to side, back and forward. Checking out the arms. The arm does stick out pretty good. It is able to go all the way around right here, as you can see. It does have a sort of like butterfly joint, and then the elbow joints are very interesting. It almost looks like if his forearm all the way down to his hands are, sort of like made out of droid pieces. So it goes up there. I also like how it's a pinless joint figure, so that's nice to see. And you also get a nice sort of like look at the hands of the 11th Brother with these sort of like claw fingers and things like that. So it's kind of creepy. And yeah, you get some nice, articulation, things like that. But yeah, those like nails, or like sort of like fingers that he has, are really menacing looking. The other side right here, Get some nice rotation in that arm. Of course, the butterfly joint helps out in so many ways. Elbow joint, of course, has a nice swivel. And then this one is, more of a grasping sort of look compared to the open hand. Take a look at the waist of the figure. He does have like this really cool sort of padding around the hip area. And you also get like some nice little details like the silver belt buckle, this belt piece that connects all the way around. As far as like an attachment or something to place his lightsaber accessory on, I don't believe he has any. So there is no way to actually store the lightsaber on this figure. He'll have to hold it. Looking at the legs, he is able to go surprisingly into a full-on split compared to most figures. He's able to sit down very nicely right here. The legs go back very nicely as well. He has some rotation here in the hips, and also in the thigh area. Right here, you can also bend his knees a little bit above a kneeling position as shown. I also like how his pant leg kind of hides that joint away. Very nice detail. And he has these black, very sleek boots, and they look really cool. The feet themselves do point down, they point up, and there is rock ankles to get some good action poses. And of course, you can't have a member of the Inquisitorius without his accessory, his lightsaber. Checking out his lightsaber, it is the only accessory included with this figure, and by all means, this is probably the best Inquisitor style lightsaber we've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen, because they always have like, some sort of attachment here or there for their back piece to store it, which the Crow has no problem of having. So you instead get this really nice sleek hilt design, and I'm loving it. It of course has some small features, things like the little lighting, this nice middle grip for his hand, of course, and 2 red blades. And here he is with the lightsaber in hand. And guys, this is so cool. I was actually very impressed that he's actually able to hold the lightsaber very well. I was expecting to have some difficulties with those long fingers of his, but surprisingly, all 4, fingers right here are stuck together almost like this, like a Lego figure. So you just slide that grip in there and there you go. So yeah, pretty cool. I love the accessory. It was literally made for him. So yeah, I guess on to the overview. And now, as an overview of the figure, he's got to be a 10 out of 10. No, defects or things like that. For me, it was the overall like cape design, from it running down from a plastic hood and into that soft goods fabric. I think that's something that Hasbro definitely needs to work with for later releases, because I think for most characters, the hood is kind of the thing that is a little bit wonky, especially with the older designs. But for him, they got it on point. The material and just everything comes together so well. And I even love the sort of newer design for that Inquisitor lightsaber of his. I actually prefer it without the overall like clip pieces and things like that, because it always gets in the way. And also, to add on to that, if you have Merrick from the Ahsoka line, you can have some bro time with them. But yeah, overall, I think the Crow is probably one of the best sort of like Sith Inquisitor figures that they have within this lineup. And who knows, maybe we will get a remaster of Merrick with a more cleaner design and maybe with a more skinnier cape. But we'll just have to wait and see. There is so much potential for the Maul lineup, and this is only the beginning. So if you guys found this very enjoyable to watch, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me for more. And I'll catch you all on the next one.